Yo, what's up, guys? It's SK back here, and I've got a pretty special video today. Today is my birthday, so I am now 28 years old. Oh my days. I have walked the earth for 28 years. I have been existing for 28 years. Geez, that's insane. Now that I think about it, and I know there are loads of people who will be like, 28's not old, like, what are you talking about? And other people will be like, oh my god, 28, bro, you're almost 30, bro, what's going on? But, yeah, I'm 1 year older, 1 year wiser, you know, I've got more experience, I've gained a lot of experience over this very short 28 years. I mean, it just seems like life's just like flown by, you know, it's just gone in the blink of an eye almost. And I just wanted to create this video to basically just give some perspective, introspective, and kind of just document this moment in my life, which I personally believe is pivotal. And what I mean by that is it's a point in my life where I've actually started to apply the life lessons that I've been learning and learning and learning and failing and failing and learning and failing and learning, failing and learning. I think we get the point. For the last 26 and a half years, right? When I turned 27, that was when the learning process really started to sink in, and I started to really pay attention to my life lessons. You know, one being patience, tolerance, and also like a sense of sincerity, being humble, and giving gratitude for just life in general, right? Just giving gratitude for the things that I have, being humble in the way that I conduct myself, identifying, you know, my gifts, identifying my flaws at the same time, and giving gratitude for them. And I've got to this point in my life where, like, now I'm starting to just fully accept that, you know, like, not to sound, I don't think it sounds like a defeatist attitude, but one could argue, like, you can always do something, you know, you can always do something about X, Y, and Z. For example, like my hair, right? My hairline. I know that it's gone back over the years, okay? I know that, like, my hair's thinning at the top, it's quite thick at the back and the sides, so you can imagine what that would look like when this starts to get really bushy, okay? Before I used to obsess to a point, even today, I'll like look at myself in the mirror and I'll be like, oh, just gotta make sure that I cover this expansive forehead, right? Shout out to all my big forehead members, all right? If you have a big forehead, just understand that you have got a lot of wisdom. There's a big brain inside that big skull of yours, okay? So don't let anybody tell you otherwise, make fun of you and be like, this guy's got a big forehead, because you smart. But yeah, I've just given up on like being so hypercritical. I think that's it. I've given up on being so hypercritical of my appearance. Not that I don't take pride in my appearance. No, I still will take the utmost pride in my appearance. But I will focus on things that I can control. So, good hygiene, for example. Skincare routine, right? To a degree, you know, managing my hair, okay? I'm not saying that I will go bald, but if I do happen to go bald, well then that's okay. I think personally I've got the face and the features to rock a bald head, you know, in terms of overall attraction and attractiveness. You know, there are other considerations that I might take into account, such as, like, I don't know, whether it's implants or even the SMP thing, which I saw on a First Man video. If you guys don't know who First Man is, be sure to check him out. I'll link his channel in the description. But yeah, you know, that's like an aspect of me that I've learned to just accept. Another thing being like my body, for example, okay? I used to always be hypercritical of my body. And one thing I've noticed is that when you start to just accept and stop feeling so self-conscious that's when the changes that you want actually start to take fruition. Like, I've started to really cut down the body fat, for example. You might not think that I have it by looking at me, but it's there. It's there. You know your body better than anyone else, or you should. And yeah, I mean, I've been cutting that down. I've been getting more muscular. I've been getting stronger, getting better in the gym, and for that, I'm just ever so grateful. I'm grateful for the people that have been in my life, who've taught me heartfelt lessons. And just to reiterate, those lessons are, mine and mine alone. It's not to put fault at the person or to find fault with the person or people. It's how I changed, how I decided to act towards the the stimuli, right? And one thing I've learned as a young man, especially a young man who's, well, I'm not even in the peak of my, like they say in the male sort of timeline of the male advantage, as First Man says, right? I'm not even there yet. I'm still actually in the teething years. Believe it or not, your 20s right up until your 30s are like your fledgling years, and then you get into your 30s, if I'm not mistaken, that's when you start to like elevate more towards the peak. And it's actually in your mid 30s and sometimes even your 40s is when you hit your peak. So yeah, I don't think, I used to think, oh, maybe I was a late bloomer, man. I started too late. I'm done for. Like, I got, there are guys here like 24, 25, like Hamza, Austin Dunham, who else is there? Like really young, Casey Zander, for example. These are like dudes who are like well established in the line of work in the field that I want to go into, which is to be a YouTuber, to be an influencer, right? To be someone who influences other people to live by a set of principles and values, right? And as long as people can relate to me, people find my work one, entertaining, right? Because I'm a bit of an entertainer, right? I won't shy away from that. But they find value, they find knowledge, and if I can teach someone or impact someone's life in a positive way, then that's a win for me. Okay, if I am impacting you positively, please consider hitting that like button. All right, help the algorithm favor me, guys. Yeah, push me up to the power, because I want to be on those podcasts with Hamza, Austin, right? I'm gonna start my own podcast channel, and yeah, please subscribe, because I'd love to create more content for you and just show you my journey, right? Share my journey with you. Being 28 now, I've learned a lot about how to just accept and how to heal properly. This year was a big year. So it started off with me leaving the military, right? I left the army completely, and that was a big step for me. I realized that there was still a lot of stuff like from the army that I carry forward with me, namely positive things, right? How I conduct myself in the public eye, how I conduct myself with people, learning the skills that I was taught at Litchfield, for example, was the place that I trained. Maintaining the relationships with my friends from the military, right? And even though I'm back, in this other, like, defaulted state of life, and I have been permanently changed from the army, I still see how I'm applying myself to fit this new narrative, using the teachings and the experiences from the army, and keeping the relationships alive, because that's very important. That's fundamental. For a 28-year-old man, you must, in my personal opinion, you must have a good support network, or even multiple support networks. I've built many relationships over this year. From the get-go, it was hard. Assimilating back into the modern way of living after being in the military mindset and the military lifestyle. Yes, I came home often, but I wasn't really fully immersed in it. My mind was always elsewhere. And, that just brings me on to the point of like actually being present. I learned to be more present, and I learned to be more in the moment. That definitely was a big part that I learned. Going into therapy, I sought out a therapist, not just because of, they talk about trauma in the sense that you he may have like physically suffered or something I suffered when I was in the army or whatever it was. No, we went all the way back, because there were life lessons that were coming up, namely relationships, with girls, with friends, where situations would crop up with different people, but the outcome was always the same. So I sought help for that, and yeah, my therapists have definitely been monumental in helping me change, right? So I've made a big decision, and I've changed a lot. And for me to even say this in front of this camera and speak about this is a big step for me, because my confidence was like, how do I explain it? It's kind of like it's kind of like sunshine in the UK. The sun is there, but you very rarely see it because there's this thin or thick layer of cloud above it. So you can see elements of it kind of poke through from time to time, but it never really like beamed through, right? Now I feel as though I'm actually just pulling back those clouds, and I'm just like, boom, here I am, baby. This is me. This is what I'm about, and I'm ready to attack it head on. I've also stopped thinking so hypercritically of myself and also of other people. Just because a relationship didn't work out with a person, for example, doesn't mean that they are now forever your enemy. Yeah, of course, it depends on like the nature of what happened and how things transpired, but it doesn't mean that if a person is no longer like serving a purpose in your life, then you need to cut them off completely. You don't need to cut them off completely. You can just talk to them less. You don't have to be so hyper, like do or die. It's this like pseudo like profit versus loss mentality that's just been plaguing so many people's minds, mine especially, right? I've been such a hypercritical thinker for the longest time. Any of my friends in the military who are watching this video, they will definitely be like, yep, he was definitely an overthinker. He was definitely this guy who we always thought was like on the verge of depression. It's like one step away from going over the edge. And the funny thing is, like, that may have not even have been the case. It's just the way that I came across was so tightly wound and strung, so highly strung about things. So yeah, this year it's been a big win for me mentally, emotionally, even spiritually, and now financially. I'm doing really well with a job that's the easiest job I've ever done in my life, but I love it. And honestly, it's holding me in good standing while I'm working on this project for being someone who is on social media. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I just wanted to share this little snippet with you guys, and just pin drop this little hallmark that is my 28th birthday. If you like this video, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.